calling the internet police.
Welcome to The Game Case, a show for, well, anyone that plays World of Warcraft. The show rife with ramblings, tips, tricks, and goings-on in WoW. Here's your host, Chris Case.
Well, hello, hi, howdy, and welcome to this episode 16 of The Game Case. I am your host, Chris, also known as Cuddles, a brewmaster monk on Airy Peak in the Convert to Raid Guild. This week, I'm going to run down my week in WoW, give you the latest on the Race to World First, tell you about the winner of the Good Deed in Draenor contest, and the good deed that they did after that, as well as throw you some tips on curing those mid-expansion blues. So this week in Warcraft, wow, I had a blast once again. It was a very eventful week for me. My weekend raiding team, Bacon and Kegs, we made some great progress on Kilrog Deadeye throughout the weekend over in Hellfire Citadel. We're right at this moment running through some mythic dungeons. One of our DPS guys, Oseric, is got the team together on an off night, and they're doing some mythic dungeons, grabbing some gear, having some fun. And it's I gotta tell you, it's so cool to see that out of a raid team, seeing them really come together, really gel, and have fun together. I mean, it's so great. We have so much fun when we raid, but you know that something special is happening when people are getting together in our off times. And that's been something with Bacon and Kegs. We were off to a bit of a rough start when I joined the team. When I joined the team, it was actually because they were in need of a tank. As in, they didn't have another tank. There was one morning where I overslept. We raided at 4 a.m. server, or raided at 4 a.m. server at the time. I overslept, and they didn't get to raid. We were struggling to get 10 people in. It was a rough time for us. But with our move into Convert to Raid, with our appointment of Other Shammy as our official raid leader, congrats for that, Other Shammy. And with everything that's been happening with Hellfire High Council, this team is really coming together. They're really becoming something absolutely amazing. And it's an incredible thing to be a part of. The solid raid leadership from Other Shammy, the support from Oseric, the calming voice of Sly while we raid, and Rhoda, of course, Rhoda's constant commentary about anything and everything are beginning to make this raid team something very special. And I can't wait to see what's going to come out of Bacon and Kegs in this tier. Now, of course, my other raid team is Rubber Chicken Coalition. And we had an incredible night on Tuesday. I have to say, Swayze, our normal raid leader, was out. He had some work obligations that needed to be taken care of. So we kind of team-led the first couple bosses, Hellfire Assault and Iron Reaver, as well as Chromok. Now, I made a few calls there. I was definitely not raid leading. But, you know, we kind of all helped out with the calls, and it worked out really well. We basically have those three guys on farm. Now, we moved over to Hellfire High Council, which was a progression boss for us. And that's where Gank Theory, a.k.a. Theory, who is actually a co-host of the Epic Fail podcast. If you haven't checked that out, go check out the Epic Fail podcast at epicfailpodcast.com. They're absolutely incredible, but Theory stepped up and led us through not just one progression boss. We didn't just down the Hellfire High Council in the picture that you see here. We also went up against Kilrog and boom! 4-shot. That's right. 2 progression bosses one night. That is a big step for Rubber Chickens. We were struggling a little bit with Hellfire High Council, and we went in, and I'm pretty sure we one-shotted that council fight. It was incredible. It was an amazing and magical night where things came together. Everyone did what they were supposed to. Things got done. Theory came with the elite strats, and huge thanks to him, as well as absolutely everyone else on that team. We had a great time. We cannot wait for Swayze to come back. He will be back with us hopefully next week, and we will be moving on to Gorfiend. We did get a couple pulls in there, but at the end of the night, couple pulls. It's not that we resigned to not one-shotting him. It's just I think we knew that we weren't going to. There's definitely some interesting mechanics in that fight. You get sucked into his belly at one point, and wow, like, whoa, I'm in this guy's belly. What's going on? What do I do now? Interesting mechanics there. Some things that you have to do when you're sucked into that zone. And I think once we figure that out, we're not going to have much trouble with him either. So, looks like Rubber Chickens are moving up in the world. 5 of 13 now, guys. Way to go, Chickens. It was just a whole lot of fun. Now, last Friday night, I had the opportunity to go to a meet and greet, or rather meetup, that's hosted on meetup.com. If you don't know about meetup.com, just short little plug for them. It's an absolutely wonderful way. It's not like Match or eHarmony or Craigslist. It's a site that hosts meetups where you can get groups of varying interests together and go do things. So one of the neat things is if you don't know anyone in your area that plays Warcraft, go on meetup.com and search and see if there already is a Warcraft meetup group somewhere nearby. Now for me, there was. And the great thing about this was it was actually led by Root and Freckleface, who you may or may not know as the hosts of Hearthstone podcast, which is not a podcast Hearthcast podcast, which is not a podcast about Hearthstone. It's actually a World of Warcraft podcast. It's very super cool. I was able to go on their show and play a little game that they call AOE here very recently. Had an absolutely wonderful time with them. I actually won a year of Curse Premium and 6 months of Loot Crate from them. So that was pretty cool. Beat up on Root in their own trivia game. And I'll tell you what, I got lucky because they do this fun trivia game where you guess numbers and whoever's closest to the number on specific questions. Like one of them that I believe I got was, how many pets appear in your garrison when you have a level 3 pet menagerie? And I was able to get that question right. Root missed it by 2 or 3. So the cool thing was, if they had asked me as a new to WoW player, if they had asked me about anything outside of Warlords of Draenor, I would have been completely lost. I got very, very lucky that they asked about garrisons. I was able to defeat the mighty Root, and I had a great time on their show. If you haven't checked them out, I know I'm telling you guys about a lot of podcasts tonight, but go check out Hearthcast. They're great folks, and they're local to me, so I was able to go. They hosted this at a place called Firkenkeglers, which is kind of like a Dave & Buster's, if anyone's familiar with that. It's basically an adult arcade, and let me take that back. It's basically like an arcade for adults. You go in, there's video games, there's food, there's bowling, there's pool. It's just a great time, kind of like an adult fun center. We had a blast. There was probably about 10 or 12 people there, mostly Hordes. None of them were in CTR, which is new for me, kind of branching out of the CTR community. So it was really a lot of fun. I appreciate each and everyone that was there. Forgive me, I'm not good with names in person, so I will just say a all-encompassing thank you and very nice to meet everyone that was there. Looking forward to going back. If you are in the Orlando area, you can search for Orlando WoW Meetup on meetup.com and find information about that. They meet the second Fridays of every month, And I'm willing to bet if you're in a reasonably non-utterly secluded area, you may be able to find a meetup of your own. And I'd encourage you to get out there and go meet some of your virtual friends in real life, or just go make some new ones. It was a lot of fun. Thanks again to Root and Freckleface for hosting that. Freckleface was unable to make it. It was her husband's 30th birthday, but she was there in spirit, and we had fun. So thanks to all those guys. Now, outside of all of that fun stuff, I was able to do a little wowing outside of Raid. Of course, the normal garrison craft that everyone's up to these days. I'm having trouble getting a lot of shipyard missions in, mostly because I haven't been going out and doing the dailies. I have very little interest in going out and grinding the rep and trying to get flying. I'll probably get around to it. I'm sure once everyone else has flying, I'll get jealous and I'll go out and I'll make it happen. But without the dailies, just with the oil that I'm receiving from my garrison, I'm getting in maybe 1 or 2 ship missions every 2 or 3 days. So it's very slow leveling up my shipyard, but I am having fun with it. I don't know that it's the most interesting mechanic ever to be in the game, but it's there, and I don't hate it. I will say that. I do enjoy it. It's kind of fun leveling up the ships. I have a ship with the Murloc crew. It's the and I'm really kind of I'm excited by some of the stuff going in there, and really interested to see where they're going with this shipyard. So should be a whole lot of fun just doing a little bit more of that. I do have my hunter now up to level 98. Maybe gonna play a little bit of WoW after the podcast, get him to ding 100 hopefully over the weekend, and then I will be this weekend, as I previously talked about and promised, boosting my blood DK, hopefully getting him up to raid gear and level 100 pretty quickly. But that's mostly because I was holding out for the Amazon Prime Day sale, which we all know was a huge disappointment. One of my favorite tweets was, it was like somebody telling you that there's a great sale and then taking you to TJ Maxx. There was, let me see, 20% off dishwashing detergent, some Skippy peanut butter on sale. There wasn't a whole lot to impress. No, I did pick up a 512 gigabyte solid state drive and an infrared thermometer. Nothing too crazy and not really Warcraft related. So stick with me here, folks. We're going to get back into Warcraft in a second. But what I'm trying to say is my wallet survived that. My wallet survived the sale. So now I have the money to go ahead and boost my blood DK, make that happen. I'm also taking a good look at StarCraft Legacy of the Void. So you may hear a little bit from me about that coming up. I am somewhat enticed by the pet that you can get for World of Warcraft, as well as some of the other cool tchotchkes that come with it. Some of the stuff that comes for Heroes of the Storm. So if anybody listening plays StarCraft and has anything to say about it, please let me know. Tweet at the Game Case Show over on the tweeter machine. Let me know what you think about StarCraft. What should I know as a beginning player? And, you know, what's going on with the StarCraft universe? I've never played the game before, but it's there. It's in my BattleNet. It's looking at me. Good marketing, Blizz. You got me thinking on it. So outside of all that, Heroes of the Storm action, of course. I popped on the Butcher, been having a lot of fun with him. Kind of still trying to learn how to play him, learn exactly how to most effectively utilize him. Did get to play a little bit last night with the folks from the Well Played Party. Wonderful, wonderful group of folks. They had an event last night where they brought a bunch of their supporters from Kickstarter into their Twitch stream. We all played Heroes of the Storm, and Pat Crane, also known as Zug, the founder of Convert to Raid, and then Jules, member of the Iron Council and host of Torn Think Tank, and I remembered it better. The two of them shoutcasted the match. It was so cool being able to play, and then I had the show in my headphones in my ear, And being able to hear them like 15 seconds after we do something, you die or you get a cool kill, something like that, and you know that they're about to talk about it. I did play Murky my first match, so there was a lot of, well, Murky's dead again. But that's Murky. That's kind of how you play Murky. So that was a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody that showed up for that. We will be talking a little bit more about the Well Played Party here in a few minutes. But let's jump into a big piece of news. In case you haven't been on Twitter, in case you haven't been on the internet today, there is a small piece of news about the world's first race that came out today. Now, I'm going to play a short audio clip that's going to lead into this bit of news. So here we go.
No. Come on, kill it.
Come on.
Yeah! Happy birthday! Good fucking job! Show me shit on the deep! I caught the weapon. Who's the last to fix now?
Happy birthday.
Now, in case you didn't know what that was Method during and after their world first Archimond kill. So huge congrats to Method. This team has been raiding for, I think it's probably going on 16, 17 days now. 15 hours plus a day, 7 days a week, and finally got Archimon down. That was the sound of success. That was the sound of excitement. And as Smug Sauce in the chat room has said that he loves that Method still gets so excited. These are folks that are always in the mix. These are folks that are always out there doing it. And to hear that level of just jubilation is so cool. Now, the cool thing about Method and what had been going on with them is they, as a team member of Method, you are required to be able to take 2 weeks off. So 2 weeks at the beginning of every new raid tier, and you will be raiding 15, 16, 17 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, for those of you out there that raid on a normal, a heroic, or even a non-world first level mythic progression team, generally probably how you raid, and this is how I raid, is you go and you fight a boss, maybe you wipe, maybe you kill him, there's some, some banter back and forth. You talk about Sly's healing jugs. You make fun of Cuddles and call him Puddles. You pass out banana-infused rum. There's multiple minutes between pulls, between kills. There, somebody goes, oh, hey, my kid's going nuts. I gotta go get him. Okay, cool, take a minute. That's not how these guys do it. You kill a boss or you wipe, and you got as long as it takes for you to run back, and you're pulling again. You're maybe getting a 2-minute break every 6, 7, 8 hours. When Method, Paragon, Midwinter, when they sit down and raid, they sit down and raid. So when I say 15 hours a day, they're raiding 15 hours a day. They're not raiding maybe 8 hours and screwing around the rest of the time. These folks take it seriously, and it's really and truly on a whole nother level from what a lot of us have experienced. Now, I want to roll down a couple stats. Before their mythic Archimon down, they pulled him 472 times. Think about that number. This is after getting through everything else. This isn't wipes on everything else. This is wipes on Archimon. 472 times before they killed him. Now, they were able to down him with this setup. They had a Brewmaster Monk, a Prot Warrior, 2 Arcane Mages, 2 Balance Druids, your token Disc Priest, everybody's got a Disc Priest, a Resto Shaman, 2 Marksmen and 1 Beastmaster Hunter, a Holy Pally, a Shadow Priest, 2 Assassination Rogues, a Resto Druid, 2 Arms Warriors, and a Destro Warlock. They had an average eye level of just under 720. It was 719.78, I believe. And one of the most amazing things is there's been a lot of talk about these legendary rings and how this was going to affect the mythic race. I have not seen it confirmed somewhere. Forgive me if it has been. But I've heard the rumor that Paragon now has 2. And everyone's been talking about how this was going to change everything. It was going to drastically affect all the fights. Things were going to be totally different. And the cool thing is, Method didn't have any. In fact, their tank, their Prot Warrior, he was eye level 690. So this wasn't even gear. This is pure and total talent. So kudos to Method. Congratulations. You truly are the best in the world. And today you proved it. So now we still have several teams at 12 of 13. The race for world second is still going on. I'm going to pull up WoW Progress right now and take a quick look. Yep, nobody else has gotten Archimon down as of this recording at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, July the 16th. So don't know when that next down will happen. I know that these other teams are still raiding hard. Don't think that they're out. Don't think that they've let up. There's still US first out there. Obviously, Midwinter has a large lead on that. There's the next person after Midwinter has not put down Manroth. They're still at 11 of 13. There's a Russian team in the top 3. So there's still a lot of action going on out there, a lot of raiding, and a lot more wipes to come on Archimon. So it'll be very interesting to follow the rest of this race, see what happens, see what goes down. But biggest news is congrats, Method. Y'all did it. Take a break. I was able to catch a after kill stream that a few of the Method members participated in, and one of the biggest things that they kept on saying is, we're not raiding anymore. We're not. No, we're done. It was like, oh, can you stream? Can you go in and stream? No, we're done raiding. And you can't blame these guys. They raided more in the past 2 weeks than I probably will this entire expansion. And that's running 2 raid teams 3 days a week. But once again, congrats, Method. You got it done. Can't wait to hopefully see them at BlizzCon. Hope they make the trip over. And yes, as Cinnamon in the chat room has said, these folks are on a whole different level. Just absolutely incredible and impressive. Now, something that I forgot to mention last week before we dive into Blizzard news was the winner of the Good Deed in Draenor contest. I'm going to throw a screen cap up here on the screen for those listening. Don't worry, I'll read it. Now, the winner of the Good Deed in Draenor contest is Miss XO Hexabel. Congratulations to her. She had a wonderful story of going out and gifting some gold to a random person in Draenor. I know a lot of people are gold capped. You got a lot of gold sitting around. What do I do with it? Go out and give it to somebody. Make someone's day. Find a new lobby player and just give them 5K. Just give them 2K. Buy something for them. You don't understand the impact that can make on a returning player that's maybe a little frustrated that they can't buy some stuff, that can't get the potions or the armor or that mount that they want or that pet that they need to defeat that legendary pet battle trainer. Go out and gift it to them. Be generous with your gold. And XO Hexabel did that. And that's not all. When I messaged her and told her that she had won, she did something even more incredible. And this this really kind of hit me in the feels. I offered the prize for winning the contest was either a mount or a pet off the Blizzard store, anything that you would want. So I sent her a DM, told her, hey, just let me know which pet or mount you want. You won. Congrats. I'll talk about you on the show, blah, blah, blah. She DMs me back and says that she doesn't want one. What she wants me to do is take that $25 and donate it to the Well Played Party. Now, the Well Played Party is a party that's being hosted by the CTR Guild Friday night at BlizzCon in one of the ballrooms at the Hilton. If you don't know anything about it, check out wellplayedparty.com. I'm going to talk about it some more in a minute. But this was a Kickstarter community-funded party. Now, Hexabelle isn't going to be able to make it to BlizzCon this year. So she wasn't contributing this so that she could get in early or she could get a t-shirt. In fact, she didn't even ask for any of that stuff. She just wanted me to give the money to the party so that they could further reach their stretch goal of $9,500 so that they would be able to do a live stream and folks like her would be able to watch this from home. That is the spirit of exactly what I was going for with the Good Deed in Draenor contest. So I took the opportunity. I matched her $25 reward with another $25. XO Hexabelle, we donated $50 to the Well Played Party in your name. Thank you so much. She describes herself on her Twitter as a WoW addict, a Blizzard fangirl. Go follow this lady. She's at XO Hexabelle on Twitter. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful lady. So congratulations for winning the contest, but thank you for taking it one step further and doing even more good in the community. With that said, on to Blizzard news for the week. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, the PTR actually now has flying. So that was the big thing that we were all waiting for. Probably means that flying is 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 weeks out. We should be seeing flying in Draenor before you know it, just around the corner. So make sure you go out and get all of your rep grinds and all of your achievements in for that, so that you will be able to fly in Draenor when it's live, if that's something that's important to you. If you don't know about the kind of achievement line to get flying in Draenor, I would suggest you go over to wowhead.com/flying. There you'll find a handy dandy little guide that'll give you percentages and show you exactly what you need to finish that. And since it's already on Wowhead, you can click on the achievements and find all the Wowhead guides, so you know what to do. So no excuses. If you want flying, go out there and get it. Should have a little bit of time left, but don't delay. Don't be the last one to be mounted up on your brand new mount that you will actually get for achieving flying in Draenor. So go ahead and check that out. There's also been mercenary mode. This was announced over on Battle.net. It's in development. It's going to be a PvP arena option where you'll have the ability to become another race or another faction to do PvP. You'll still earn the same progress. You'll still earn the same achievements. Of course, you won't earn faction-specific achievements, but anything else will be permissible. This is going to affect Ashran and unrated battlegrounds. Of course, not rated competition BGs, but you'll have the option to queue up as a mercenary. It'll throw you in where you're needed. This is going to allow, quoting Blizzard, our goal with mercenary mode is to allow players who want to participate in Ashran or unrated BGs the ability to do so without having to wait through long queues, while still maintaining the spirit of the core Alliance vs. Horde fantasy. We'll be testing this feature soon on the PTR and look forward to hearing your feedback. So if PvP is something you do, go download the PTR. If you haven't done it, this is a great opportunity to go check it out. A lot of fun things in the PTR. Get a little sneak peek. But you can go over, you can copy a tune straight into the PTR. Once this goes live, I'm sure there'll be announcements on Battle.net. I will also mention it on our relevant podcast episode when it does happen. But go out there, check it out, and let Blizz know what you think. Are they getting it right? Are they getting it wrong? What's going on? How are your feels about it? So, very exciting news for the PvPers. The kind of greater impact of this is now that they're going to allow cross-factional PvP, are we one step closer to cross-faction raiding? Now, having not been around for a terribly long time and not having a wealth of raid experience and being in a mega guild like CTR, cross-factional raiding doesn't affect me a whole lot, in that I've never really had friends that want to join the raid and then, oh, your alliance, well, I'm Horde. It's the CTR community is so large, we're usually not at a loss for players. But I have had one instance where I had a friend, Misume, who was going to join and co-tank with me in Heroic Blackrock Foundry. We waited for him, he logged in, he got on his tune, he went and got his stuff, and he messages me, I go to invite him, and oh, yeah, you're Horde. So, yeah. And that doesn't, it makes sense for us to be able to join up, whether they race switch or do something to make that happen. We're all fighting the same bosses, Horde or Alliance, so it doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense from a lore standpoint to have us not be able to cross faction. Yeah, I get it, Blood Elves and Night Elves and Orcs and humans, and we don't all get along, and why would we fight together? But come on, guys, give us cross-factional rating. That would actually be pretty cool. So be on the lookout for that. Know that this might be something that's coming in the future. This is not official Blizzard news. This is me putting on my tinfoil speculation hat and just kind of guessing at something. But this could be a step in that direction. Now, I promised you that I was going to talk a little bit about curing your mid-patch blues. If you're a raider and not on method, then you're probably still raiding Hellfire Citadel. So I'm not going to speak entirely to you right now. There's a new raid out. It's only been out for a few weeks. You shouldn't be suffering too poorly from patch blues, at least from a rating standpoint. I want to talk to the player today that's a little bit more casual, that isn't jumping in to raid, logging in, grabbing their pots, and getting summoned over to Hellfire Citadel. I want to talk to the player that logs in and goes, okay, what now? Of course, patch 6.2 added the Adventure Journal, which basically gives you like a step-by-step, here's A, B, and C, go do one of these things. Now, one of the biggest complaints that we've heard throughout this expansion is there's nothing to do. Now, I don't want to totally call people out for that, but take a look at the flying, the achievement that you need for flying. Now, there are two Tanan reps worked in there, but there was a whole bunch of stuff that when it was added, folks were like, oh man, I need to go do all these things. Look at all this stuff I have to do. You even heard complaints that, oh, well, I have to do all this stuff to go get flying. Well, I don't know if I want to go do all that stuff. That's a lot of stuff to go do. But there's nothing to do. Well, all that stuff was in there. And nothing to do versus nothing that you want to do are two totally different things. And I would love to see the community kind of clarify their opinion on that. Now, there's pet battles. Do you have over 600 pets yet? Nope. Go get them. No interest in pet battles? Check out PvP. I am not a PvP guy. If you've listened to this podcast at all, you'll notice I don't talk about PvP. It's because I don't do it. But I sure do like jumping into a battleground or an arena or Ashrian or even realm hopping over to a PvP server and ganking some lobies every now and again. It's a fun distraction from your normal game. There's rep grinds. Now, yeah, those are rep grinds, but they're only as grindy as you go into them with the mindset of. Take it as a challenge. Take it as something fun. I know the rep grind for the Steam Weedle Preservation Society, which, full disclosure, I have not actually completed. But going out there and killing all those rares out in the Grand, that's a pretty fun little thing to get a group together and do. And last time I checked, there's still groups forming in that custom group finder to do just that. You can go camp for everyone's favorite mount, Pound Fist. Now, I will agree that camping something for 17 hours may not be the height of enjoyment. But that elatement that you heard, that jubilation and joy that you heard from Method, that's very similar to what Vint sounded like when I was in a group and we downed Pound Fist. Now, yeah, I get it. We weren't first raiders. We didn't raid for 3 weeks and we weren't the best in the world. But at that moment, on that day, with that boss, we were the champions, and nobody was going to bring us down. We rode out of there as valiant triumphers over the evil of RN Jesus, having smited the mighty Pound Fist, and tamed him, putting a saddle uponst his back, and riding through the wilds of Draenor. It was it was fun. It was a whole lot of fun. And it's one of the things that you can get out there and do. Go out and, you know what? You think Draenor's boring? Roll a new tune. Find a class, find a race that you haven't played. Maybe even find a new server. You don't have to live there. You don't have to. It doesn't mean that your other tunes are gonna die. I promise you can go a week or two without logging in to your tune. You can even go a day. I promise. That could happen. And your tune isn't going to wither up and die. You don't have to check in and feed him. Go in and roll a character on another server. Go have fun. Here's a crazy idea. Because Alessandra in the chat room just suggested that I need to go RP. Go roll a tune on an RP server and give RP a try. It's kind of that stepchild of Warcraft. If you don't RP, you probably don't understand people that do. And maybe you have no desire to. Maybe you're not, well, I am an RPer and I live for the Alliance. You don't have to be. Just go give it a go. Give it a try. And as much hate and as much salt as LFR gets, even if you're not a raider, go do tourist mode. Go give it a try. Run through there. See what this raid tier looks like. If you're not running through a raid tier, you're not getting the full picture of what's going on. Now, unfortunately, and this is an entire another discussion, Blizzard did gate some story behind Mythic progression. Specifically Mythic, I believe it was the final boss in Heimal. There's some extra RP in there that you don't get to see. If you're that interested in the story and lore, guys, there's videos. Go check it out. Go spend some time in Dalaran. Go out into the world. When was the last time you went out and ran Throne of the Four Winds? Or when was the last time you tried to get that mount that you really wanted from Throne of Thunder? I hear a lot of people talking about their circle of disappointment. And it's, it's this weekly, I log into 6 tunes and I go around and I run this dungeon, then this dungeon, then this dungeon, then this dungeon, then this dungeon. Well, I'm getting sick of Warcraft. Well, you made it a chore. Now, I understand and fully value the purpose and the reason for the circle of disappointment, for having a set, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. It's efficient. It's if you're going to run 6 tunes through it and you want to get that mount, if you want to get invincible out of ICC, that is the most efficient way to do it. But also understand, as your level of enjoyment ticks down, maybe take some of the chores out. If you're not enjoying the game, why do you need invincible? Go try doing something else. Mix up your routine. Do something different. Don't do the things that feel chorey to you. If you don't like the mine, you know the last time I went in my garrison mine? Because I don't. I did not enjoy it. It was a chore. I've totally forgotten about it. Am I missing out on some gold? Yeah. But, oh well. It adds to my enjoyment of the game to spend the time that I would be in that mine. And yes, miner's coffee, the pickaxe, you can do it in 2.5 minutes. I don't care. It was time that I honestly would rather sit in my garrison and do nothing than feel like I'm forced to go do that mine. As Alessander in the chat room holds up her hand about her circle of disappointment. Did you get the mount, Alessander? Did you get anything, or was it another circle of disappointment? And Chris, Mr. Smug Sauce in the chat room, has also suggested level cap and reroll. Level cap and reroll. Every time I talk to this guy in game, hey man, what you playing? Oh, I got a level 80 Janai Paladin. Next week, hey man, what you doing? Oh, I got a level 95 dwarf mage. I don't even know if dwarves can play mages. Forgive me, nub problems. Alessander got nothing from her circle of disappointment. And I'm not saying to stop doing those things. If it's not harming your enjoyment of the game, go for it. Be my guest. Play the game as efficiently, as productively as you can. As we age as players, we of course, we have to be more conscious and conservative with our time. That's fine. If you started playing this game 10 years ago, chances are your life is in a different place now. Either maybe you have more time. Maybe you've retired in those 10 years, and now you play Warcraft 18 hours a day. Good for you. Kudos. High five. But for a lot of players, they were younger players with more time on their hands, and now they either have a more involved job, a family, or other social obligations, more so than they may have 10 years ago. So you have to be prudent with your time, but make sure that it's a game. Have fun. It's a game. Treat it like that. Don't treat it like a chore. Don't treat it like something that you have to do. Don't get burnt out. If you want to leave, if you want to take a break, go take a break. Here, this is great. Alessander, my friends tonight rolled 90 alts through the Dark Portal on Alliance. They've always played Horde, so it's nice to watch them experience new things. There's a great suggestion. Alessander, thanks for bringing that up. If you're an Alliance player, go roll Horde. If you're a Horde player, go roll Alliance. I promise, if you're a Horde, your Tauren won't leave you while you're gone. No one will know. Roll them on another server. Yes, your Beachhag friends will probably see it, but I'm willing to bet no one's going to mind. It's okay. Go out there and have fun. So, I got a couple shout-outs this week. First of all, the Converted podcast. I think my name was mentioned a couple times on the last episode. So thanks to Tour Arts for mentioning my event that I have coming up, the Dalaran Lawn Darts event, which if you're in Convert to Raid, that is going to be happening this Saturday at 8 p.m. server. We're going to go to Dalaran. We're going to throw ourselves onto the ground in lawn dart fashion. Closest to the target is going to win 2,000 gold. So that's, I know for some of you guys that are gold capped, that's, 2,000 gold, but hey, 2,000 gold's a pet. It's, it's maybe some raid pots. It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe it's the start of your next gold capped account. So make sure you go and check out guild.converttoraid.com. Find all the details on that and all the wonderful events that the rest of the event planning staff is running. Also, of course, the Rubber Chicken Coalition and Bacon and Kegs, my two raid teams. Thank you so much to you guys. We're having so much fun right now. It really couldn't. These two teams are coming together in a way that I don't know that I could have imagined happening. Rubber Chickens, I mentioned before, we're family. Like, y'all, we fam. But Bacon and Kegs, I'll admit now that it seems as though we're through the rough waters. I was a little bit worried about the group cohesion there. And it's something that has come together in a wonderful and magical way. Of course, I need to mention the Well Played Party. guys, I mentioned this before, but Convert to Raid this will be the 3rd year that they are doing the Well Played Party. This is going to be Friday night at BlizzCon in the Hilton Ballroom. Now, they did have a Kickstarter to fund this party. It has been funded, so it is going to happen. But now they're working on stretch goals. They have about 6 days left. So, if you have not gone and donated to this party and you're thinking about donating, please go donate. They have amazing different tiers of stuff. You can get a bowling shirt like the devs wear with the Well Played Party logo on it that comes in Alliance Blue or Horde Red. They have ringtones from Mark Honan. They have Twitter banners. They have badges designed by Ursangus. All sorts of incredible, amazing stuff. And as I log in and look at this, whoop, whoop, huge congrats to the Well Played Party. $9,506. That means that they reached their first stretch goal of $9,500, and this party will be live streamed for anyone that's not going to BlizzCon. This is a huge milestone. Great work to the entire Well Played Party team, and huge thank you to all the backers out there. The great thing about this is Ro said this last week on The Converted, and I'll say it again here. Even if you're going to the party, you know, you're going to be talking to this guy, you're going to be talking to that lady, you're going to be having a couple drinks, maybe let's all try not to be sushi this year. Everybody, you know, I still haven't seen that video. If anybody has a link to the Kinsman speech, I need to see this. I've heard that it's on YouTube. But go out there, contribute to this party, because this live stream now means that when you get home and maybe you don't remember it, or maybe you just missed something. Maybe you were so busy being social that you missed a part of the party. Well, now there's going to be a video of it somewhere. Now, there's even an add-on to have like little video clips and pictures. I cannot express how excited I am for this party. And Simone, thank you to you. She just indicated that she finally donated tonight. So Simone was part of that last little push to get to 9,500. There is going to be there's actually several other stretch goals at $11,000. They're going to have an unlimited photo booth at $14,000. They're going to do the leaders of the CTR guild will be in kilts. That means Pat Crane in a kilt. For some of y'all that might not mean anything, but for those in CTR that have followed Zug for years, seeing Pat in a kilt would be incredible. At $25,000, they will have an open bar during happy hour. That is kind of a joke. I don't know if they quite expect to reach $25,000, but crazier things have happened, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you're not gonna be at BlizzCon, make sure you catch that party on Friday night. We're also going to be talking about coming up in future podcasts. I'm going to try to spend some time talking about another party going on, the World of Podcasts party, which is now the Con Before the Storm. This is another amazing party that's going on Thursday night. Let's see if we can't get somebody in here. Spoiler alert. Next episode to talk a little bit about what Con Before the Storm is all about. Now, one last thing before we kick out of here tonight, and that is I am very proud and gracious in saying I have my very first 2 iTunes reviews. So here it is, episode 16. We got our first 2 reviews. I've been watching the American iTunes store since episode 0. You know, guy can hope. I know that it does take some effort and some time to go out there and put out an iTunes review. So if anybody out there is listening, please take the time. Go out, rate us 5 stars, say something nice about me, or if you're not going to rate me 5 stars or say mean things, the name of this podcast is Car Talk with Mike. You can give us 1 star and say it's the worst World of Warcraft podcast you've ever seen. But if you're going to give us 5 stars, we are on iTunes, the Game Case. You can find us there in all the countries. But our 2 reviews tonight, I am very proud to say, come from the fine country of Australia. So let's say good day, mate, to our good friends Paluk and Net Surfer. And I'm gonna read both of these reviews. Paluk gives us 5 stars, says, loved the show, now I have to go back and download them all. Net Surfer, again, 5 stars, fantastic World of Warcraft podcast. I was surprised to learn in episode 0 that this podcaster only started playing WoW December of 2014, yet he has gained a vast knowledge of the game and speaks with good authority on all aspects of WoW. Do yourself a favor and subscribe to the Game Case. You will not regret doing so. To both of you guys, thank you. Thank you really and truly for those reviews. To anyone that hasn't left one, go out there and do it for me, please. 5 stars on iTunes or a thumbs up and nice things over on Stitcher. You can always comment on thegamecase.com. And with that, that's it for episode 16. If you would like to join our live audience and chat with me during the show, as well as hang out with these fine folks, Alessander, BMW Custom, Little Kitten, Cinnamon, and Smug Sauce, thank you all for coming out and joining us. Now, this happens every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/thegamecase. You'll also find me streaming here at least 5 other, generally 6 other nights a week. I have a stream schedule. I play WoW, I play SWTOR, I play Heroes of the Storm, might be getting into some StarCraft coming up, so come check it out, and we can hang out and play video games together. Thank you everyone for listening to episode 16 of The Game Case. You can find me on Twitter at Mullet863. You can find the show at The Game Case Show. Download us on iTunes and Stitcher. Catch recordings of the show or tips and tricks and kill videos over at youtube.com/thegamecase. Or you can find all the things on the official site of The Game Case Show, thegamecase.com. And with that, everyone, Game Case out.
Thank you for joining us this week. Thank you for joining us this week inside the Game Case. Please join us next week for more news, tips, and ramblings about the World of Warcraft. Game Case out.
World of the Warcraft.